There's only three certainties in life. That's life, death, and the rain spoiling your excursion in Borneo. Malaysia is a country made up of two parts. We've got Peninsular Malaysia and East Malaysia. I today find myself in East Malaysia, a part of Borneo, the third biggest island in the world. Today's plan originally was to head to Sabah Island. Unfortunately, when I woke up early this morning, it was raining. Refunded by Viator, it made me wonder, what else could I do for today's video? It got me thinking back to when I started planning my trip to Sabah in Borneo. I struggled to find answers to my questions regarding cost, the environment, and things to do here. Why not use today as an opportunity to go through some of the things that I wish I'd known before coming to East Malaysia. Saturday the 23rd of November, it's a hot day. We're gonna head to the jetty. Now that brings me to my first need to know, and that's the cost of tours. I'm not sure whether it's because I got used to the low cost of excursions in the likes of Langkawi and Penang, where I was paying what, 40 to 45 ringgit for a day tour. But coming out here to Kota Kinabalu, I was shocked to find the cheapest island hopping excursion that I could find online and in person was 280 ringgit. 280 ringgit, that's like $70. The same value of the king lobster that I saw last night in the fish market. We'll dive into it a bit deeper later on in the video, but I really don't think the excursions here are worth 5, 6, 7, 8 times the price of the excursions back in Langkawi, especially when you consider the condition of the ocean. I was absolutely shocked to see just how much rubbish there is in the ocean here. This here is the South China Sea, and if you look carefully, there's plastic absolutely everywhere. It is a bit frustrating to see, you know, coming from the West, where lowering our plastic consumption is such a priority. We talk about caring for the wildlife, but where the turtles actually live, it's like it just doesn't matter. Look, I don't want to get too far into it, of course, it's a bit of a controversial topic, but it's something the local authorities, they need to do something about it. It's really not. It's not a good look. We want to make a change, we want to be the good. If we've got some rubbish, we don't throw it in there, we throw it in the bin. Now that leads me to my third point, and that's the fact that you can barely book island hopping tours, jungle visits for one person. The tour I was meant to go on today was with Viator. It's the only online website that I could find that would accept a booking for just the one person being me. Everywhere else I tried to book, whether online or in person, they only wanted to book for either 2 or 3 or 4 people. Singles, it was difficult. Viator seemed to be the only excursion company happy for me to book by myself, and it's just something to bear in mind. If you are coming to Borneo alone, you might struggle to book yourself onto the island hopping, onto the jungle excursions. They don't seem to like taking just one person. Something I hadn't realised is that Kota Kinabalu is a duty-free area. Similar to Penang, similar to Langkawi, there is no tax here on these items, meaning if you're looking for some cheap cosmetics, this could be the place to do it. I've loved this YSL for years, but I still can't get myself to pay the price to get it. Even without taxes, the price is astronomical. Wowee, leaving that cool shopping mall, it makes you realise just how humid it is here in Borneo. I'm not sure what it is, of course it's been hot pretty much everywhere else I've been so far in Southeast Asia. I just feel that I'm sweating here in Borneo a lot more. I'm not sure why, but the air here feels so much heavier. Just look at my back. Absolutely crazy. Not that this colour is the most forgiving anyway, but you know what I mean, it is so hot. I'm not complaining, I'm just warning you. It might have something to do with where we are in terms of the equator, because something I've also noticed, the sun sets here in Kota Kinabalu about an hour and a half earlier than it did in the mainland. By mainland I mean Peninsular Malaysia. I just forgot what I was saying for a second. On the topic of the sun, it is hot and it is bright. Even when the sun isn't shining and it's cloudy, you can still burn. So I'd recommend putting on, I guess, sun cream for a start, but also looking for more shaded areas. The last thing you want to do is damage your skin if you're traveling long term like me. Finally, last but certainly not least, I don't even know how to kind of describe it, but the smell. Kota Kinabalu is known for its seafood. Before I came here, I had so many recommendations on TikTok of which seafood restaurants and markets to try out. And while seafood tastes nice once it's been cooked, I think we can all collectively agree it doesn't smell the best. I haven't found this to be a problem anywhere else I've been so far throughout my 2 months in Southeast Asia. The Philippines, Malaysia, nowhere I've been has had the smell of fish as bad as it is here. And when I say it's bad, I mean it's bad. There's a reason why I'm specifically leaving this point till last. I'm not saying by any means you should reconsider your travels to Borneo. It's just something to bear in mind. You don't want to be shocked when you get here like I was. I've got to say though, the fish markets they have out here are amazing. They have king lobster worth $100. I actually put it in my last video. If you want to go check that out, please go watch it. We kind of just explored all the fish markets, which was really cool. One thing I do find amazing is that the majority of fish that they sell here in Borneo is from here. Now, I must stress, I have not made this video to down talk Sabah, to down talk Borneo, East Malaysia. If you've got more than a month in the country, I would definitely recommend you come and check it out. If you saw my video about Langkawi and whether it's worth a visit, you'll notice my modulation was a little bit different. I definitely recommend Penang and Langkawi if you've got a short amount of time in the country, but if you're only in Malaysia for a few weeks, I don't think East Malaysia, well, Kota Kinabalu anyway, would be worth the trip. East Malaysia is not cheap in comparison. As I mentioned, the tours are more expensive, the flights are expensive, the food's more expensive, the hotels and accommodation, you guessed it, is more expensive. And when you see how much rubbish is lacing the ocean, it doesn't make you want to go swimming, it doesn't make you want to do anything of that kind. You want to go swimming, Penang is the same, but Langkawi, the ocean there is absolutely amazing. You want to go swimming in the sea in Langkawi, you'll have a great time. One more thing to mention, Kota Kinabalu Airport in proximity to the city is only, what, a 5-minute drive away. I love aviation, so it doesn't bother me, but if you're not into it like I am, that noise can get very annoying. The purpose of this video was not to disrupt the tourism that's happening here in Kota Kinabalu. It's getting the tourism that it deserves because it really is such a lovely place. It's just a few minor things that need tweaking to enhance the quality of life for the locals and increase the experience for the tourists. Hopefully by the time I return to Kota Kinabalu in the future, those changes would have happened.